Welcome to the unit Becoming Butterflies. I'm Xuewei.
I'm James.
Please follow us in this unit to fly with the butterflies through the Chinese and English classics, where you'll be immersed into the illusory dreams of butterfly.
You may dance freely with the butterflies.
And even to feel the beauty and pain of loving butterflies.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Well, how about the illusory of the dreams of Zhuangzi?
Sounds like a plan. Zhuangzi is also known as Zhuangzhou, right?
Yes. He was an influential Chinese philosopher who lived around the 4th century BC during the Warring States period, a period corresponding to the summit of Chinese philosophy. He's credited with writing a work known by his name, the Zhuangzi, which is one of the fundamental texts of Taoism.
I know his works are rich in imagination and peculiar. His language is not limited, flexible and changeable, and can write subtle and unspeakable philosophies. Fascinating.
You're right. His work is known as Philosophy of Literature and Literature of Philosophy. And today we will read his most influential passage from Zhuangzi on the equality of things. 昔者庄周梦为蝴蝶，栩栩然蝴蝶也。自喻是至语，不知周也。而然觉则区区然周也，不知周之梦为蝴蝶语，蝴蝶之梦为周语。周与蝴蝶则必有分宜，此之谓物化。
Once, Zhuangzhou dreamt he was a butterfly flittering and fluttering around, happy with himself and doing as he pleased. He didn't know he was Zhuangzhou. Suddenly, he woke up, and there he was, solid and unmistakable Zhuangzhou. But he didn't know if he was Zhuangzhou who had dreamt he was a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming he was Zhuangzhou. Between Zhuangzhou and a butterfly, there must be some distinction. This is called the transformation of things. The transformation of things?
One interpretation concerning the transformation of things is that everything is transformed from one another.
So Zhuangzi could be transformed from a butterfly.
Or he might transform into a butterfly after he dies. Nothing stays what it is forever.
I see. So it doesn't really matter whether it is Zhuangzi who dreamt into a butterfly or a butterfly dreamt into Zhuangzi, because of the equality of things.
The mindset behind the transformation and equality of things of Zhuangzi is that every creature shares a part of the same great wisdom of the universe. Thus, the distinction between self and otherness become blurred to some extent. There is another interpretation. Some believe that Zhuangzi holds a pessimistic fatalism, that the realization of a person's desire is limited by certain subjective and objective conditions. On the basis of this pessimistic fatalism, the pain of life and the impermanence of life can not help but vaguely reveal the doubt about the authenticity of life, which is revealed in Zhuangzhou's dreaming of butterfly.
And when people think about how short and difficult life is, they might produce an illusory feeling and sign. Life is like a dream.
And this imagery has influenced many Chinese poets. For example, Li Shangyin with his 景色, the sad zither.
Not just the Chinese literature, but also the translation of Western literature.
You're right. The title of the novel Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier is translated into 蝴蝶梦, the butterfly dreams.
Daphne du Maurier was an English author and playwright. Although she is classed as a romantic novelist, Her stories have been described as moody and resonant, with overtones of the paranormal.
Among Du Maurier's favorite writers were the Bronte sisters.
And the plot and base of Rebecca are the reminiscent of Jane Eyre.
However, with Rebecca, many believed that Du Maurier had found her own voice as an author.
Indeed, she infused the melodramatic tale with great psychological insight and presented a story of jealousy that resonated with many readers.
And that might be one of the reasons that Rebecca was hugely popular upon its publication and was later adapted for TV, film, and the stage.
The story of Rebecca is set evocatively in the wilds of Cornwall in a large country house called Manderley. One of Du Maurier's intriguing devices is her refusal to name her heroine, the first-person narrator, known only as the second Mrs. De Winter.
Its opening line perfectly encapsulates the narrator's core theme. Last night I dreamt I went to Manderley again. The book begins, though it's not Rebecca who speaks. This is the strange paradox of Du Maurier's novel. Its characters are doomed to refer and defer endlessly to Rebecca, who always did things perfectly and elegantly, a certain way, while Rebecca herself never appears.
As far as I know, there is not imagery of the butterfly in the novel. So why is it translated into Butterfly Dreams?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Some critics believe that the translation of Rebecca into Chinese as Butterfly Dreams has changed the author's original intention, but that has its implied meaning. The physical transformation of butterfly corresponds to Mrs. De Winter in the novel, who has a beautiful dream of transforming from an ignorant girl into a smart and capable woman.
Also, it is to regard the last hostess, Rebecca, as a social butterfly who seduces men and takes pleasure in it. She looks beautiful, but she has a demonic soul.
Agreed. Another explanation is that this novel is full of absurd dreams and weird fantasies. When the narrator looked back to her experiences, it was as if it's a long time ago and similar to that of Zhuangzi's dreaming of butterfly, a fantasy that life is a dream might produce. Any other interpretations?
The image of butterfly often appears in Chinese and English literary works as a symbol of sincere love. In the novel, the hero and heroine break free from the shackles of spirit, break the barriers between their hearts, and finally become a pair of heart-to-heart partners. Is this not the pair of butterflies dancing happily?
Sure. When Rebecca is translated into the butterfly dream, Chinese readers will naturally emerge with touching love stories.
Those are the butterfly's imagery of illusory dreams. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.